The US-China trade tensions have escalated. Now, China has responded to new Trump tariffs and has accused Trump, in fact, of double standards. Important information coming in as China has responded to the new Trump tariffs, calling it double standards. Apart from this, China has also said that the threats of high tariffs are not right. Important information coming in the latest. China has said that the position on trade war will be consistent and has said that China does not want it, but it is also not afraid of it. Important to understand that China has accused the United States of double standards. This comes after President Donald Trump announced an additional 100% tariffs on the world's second largest economy, which of course is China. Now, China has slammed US, saying that these are double standards by the United States. Important information coming in, as remember that the US President Donald Trump on Friday said that he would impose extra levies, which are due to take effect on the 1st of November, in a response to what the US President called extraordinarily aggressive stance of the new Chinese export curbs. Now, this is with context to rare earth minerals. Important to understand that US President Donald Trump slammed an additional 100% tariffs on China, which are due to take place on the 1st of November, to which China has responded saying that these are the United States double standards. On this, my colleague Ghazali joining us on the telecast. Now, Ghazali, there's been a response from the Chinese side. What are the latest details that we're getting in on this story?
Chinese Commerce Ministry has responded, and a very guarded response. It says that China is ready for any confrontation, but it doesn't want that, and it has suggested United States government to look after or sort of consider the conversations the two leaders, Mr. Xi and Mr. Trump, had in the past and improve the trade relations rather than going on an offensive approach. And what the Chinese Commerce Ministry has said that it's double standards from the US administration, which itself has weaponized trade for the last many months by threatening other countries with tariff. And what China has done, it has announced these export control bans on the rare earth minerals only because it wants to protect its own trade. And now that has escalated in a way, because we saw that how Mr. Donald Trump has issued a statement imposing 100% tariffs on China. He's also expected to meet Mr. Xi in one of the global forums of Asia Pacific Economic Summit in South Korea. But that is also put on hold, as Mr. Trump had said that the meeting is scheduled, but he'll see whether he'll meet him or not. And Chinese Commerce Ministry has said that they do not want war, they do not want escalation, but if US wants to go or adopt that approach, they're ready for it. So generally what happens that whenever Mr. Trump threatens any country with tariff, ultimately that leads to more talks. Initially it appears so that perhaps the country will be penalized and all, but later what it leads to is more talks, and the country is pressured to adopt, or particularly US convinces that particular country to adopt that measure. So perhaps that could be a precursor to more talks between China and US in the coming days.
Right, Ghazali, thank you so much for joining us and sharing those details with us. Well, also, Ghazali, I wish to understand from you, you've talked about the tariffs, and you've also said that this possibly could lead to, in fact, more conversation happening between the US and China. Now, this especially is in context of a rare earth minerals deal. Walk us through that and tell us what exactly is the bone of contention when it comes to that.
See, rare earth minerals is something which is exported from China to other countries, but China has now sort of put some limits on its imports to other countries, and that is why Donald Trump has reacted to it. Rare earth minerals are used in semiconductor industry, it is used in electronic vehicles in sector, and these sectors are something which US is also looking to expand its scope in these sector using these rare earth minerals. And China particularly has put restrictions. It is up to Chinese government or Chinese Commerce Ministry to see where all they want to export it. So that is something which has concerned United States. United States has said that perhaps this is the way China is trying to weaponize these rare earth minerals export to other countries, and which will hamper global economy. And that is why they want to put extra tariffs on China to pressurize them to sort of moderate their policy when it comes to export of rare earth minerals. And that is why you see this escalation between the two countries, where Donald Trump has threatened them with 100% tariffs which will come into effect from 1st of November. But before that, what we expecting is that perhaps the two leaders will have more conversations. There was a scheduled meeting at the end of this month where Asia Pacific Economic Summit is happening in South Korea. Just a couple of months earlier, Mr. Donald Trump was very willing to hold that meeting and meet on the sidelines of that meeting with the Chinese president. But day before yesterday, when he announced those tariffs, he said that perhaps there is no point holding that meet with Mr. Xi, the Chinese president. But as I pointed out earlier, that on most of those occasions when we have seen US president announcing those threats to other countries through tariff, it leads to more conversations, it leads to more meetings between the two countries, and it ends up US convincing that particular country to adopt those suggestions, adopt those or clarify those objections on which US has its own reservations. But in this particular case, the response from China is very guarded. They seem very convinced that they are not going to change their policy. Rather, they have issued a suggestion to US to reconsider its decision to impose tariffs on China.
Right, absolutely, Ghazali. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing those details with us.